Damaging winds are set to redevelop across southeastern Australia from Thursday night. And with a lot of heat around the country, we will also see elevated fire dangers for some areas. First, let's have a look at what we've seen over the past 24 hours. And starting off with the satellite images from Wednesday morning, we can see plenty of cloud and vigorous winds pushing across the south of the country. And that's ahead of this next cold front, which is currently making its way across southwestern parts of Western Australia. Of course, if you have been in New South Wales, Victoria or Tasmania, you will have noticed the widespread damaging to destructive wind gusts on Wednesday. And having a look at some of those wind observations, first starting off with these orange dots of winds of up to 90 kilometres an hour, and we have seen those all the way from northeast New South Wales across into the southeast of South Australia. The red dots are wind gusts of above 90 kilometres an hour, and we've seen those through some metro areas including Sydney, Wollongong, Melbourne and Hobart. And finally, the purple dots, destructive wind gusts of above 125 kilometres an hour, mostly about the south coast and western Tasmania, but we have seen a wind gust as high as 161 kilometres an hour at Hogan Island. These winds have now eased into Thursday morning, but they will redevelop from Thursday night and into Friday morning. And the current warning situation shows with that cold front across Western Australia, we still have a damaging wind warning across the south coast. That will ease on Thursday afternoon, but then the focus shifts across to the southeast of the country, and the detail will really be in the timing. So from Thursday night, we'll see winds increasing across the Grampians in Victoria, as well as elevated parts of Victoria and New South Wales. In addition, Western Tasmania. And then into Friday morning, we'll see these damaging winds extending through parts of southeastern New South Wales, the rest of Victoria and the rest of Tasmania. If you're in South Australia, winds increase from the south from Friday morning and up towards Kangaroo Island into Friday evening. And of course, with these strong winds we have seen over the last few days, there are plenty of weakened trees and debris lying around. And with these winds coming back, we could see similar impacts across similar areas that did see the winds over the last few days. We also do have a flood watch current, and that covers much of the Tasmanian state. We do already have minor flooding occurring with warnings current, and the rain will really start to pick up from Friday morning and into the afternoon, and we could see rainfall totals over the next 5 to 7 days of 100 to 300 millimetres. It is also important to point out that with the heat lying across large parts of Australia, this wind will lead to elevated fire dangers. Starting off on Thursday, we do see high to extreme fire dangers in parts of Western Australia, but then on Friday, heat pushes to the east coast and we have high fire dangers again for Sydney and the Illawarra and much of southern Queensland. And on Saturday, we do see high fire dangers continuing for the Illawarra. And so what can we expect in terms of the winds? Starting off with Thursday, we see this cold front approaching from the west with winds above the surface really ramping up across Western Victoria and Western Tasmania. Then into Friday, we do see some very large waves coming through, and so we have also issued a coastal hazard warning. That's for damaging surf and abnormally high tides along the Victorian coastline. Through Friday, that cold front will move through with plenty of vigorous winds behind that into Saturday. But then into Sunday, we see another cold front making its way from the far south, and that's likely to bring further damaging wind warnings right across the southeast, and those will be with us until Monday. So with plenty of wind around, the risk of flooding and elevated fire dangers, make sure you have the latest forecasts and warnings, and you can get that from the website or our social media channels. And please stay safe.